Guys, if you like Dragon Ball Hakai, today is the best day for you to subscribe to our Patreon. We started publishing about 3 pages a day of the next chapter of Dragon Ball Hakai. In addition, you will also have access to several other stories created by our team, including Dragon Ball Shinken. By collaborating with our Patreon, you help us keep Dragon Ball Hakai alive and have a lot of benefits. Become a member of our community too. The link is in the video description and in the pinned comment. I'm waiting for you there.
Now you will see the newest chapter of Dragon Ball Kakumei, which is simply bringing us the outcome of the entire first phase of the story in an absolutely incredible way. Now enjoy the grand finale of the first major arc of Dragon Ball Kakumei, one of the most incredible Dragon Ball stories. Before I tell you the chapter, like the video and comment hashtag Dragon Ball Kakumei if you approve when we bring this story here on the channel. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next Dragon Ball Kakumei videos and other content on the channel. Anyway, now let's get to the story. Chapter 29 is called Outcome. And we have on the cover this beautiful art of Vegeta in Super Saiyan Blue facing Amaron. The chapter begins with Amaron ripping a heart out of someone's chest, and anyone who read the last chapter or followed here on the channel knows that the person who just had his heart taken out by the enemy is Kaba. Caulifla, who was watching all this in despair, explodes with anger and attacks Amaron with everything she has, being cautiously watched by him. At the same time that he crushes Kaba's heart with his right hand, Amaron fires a thin laser of concentrated energy at Caulifla with his left hand. Finding this attack too obvious and feeling underestimated, Caulifla asks Amaron what he takes her for. But looking closer, Caulifla realizes that it's a double shot, and one laser was hiding the other. Caulifla manages to dodge one of them, but the second one hits her. It seems that she managed to avoid the worst by realizing the trick at the last moment, but she still received a serious injury. After seeing her fellow Saiyan get hit by this attack, Fennel realizes it's over for her, and it looks like she's right as Caulifla starts to fall. Amaron begins to concentrate more energy, commenting that, judging by the despair in Caulifla's eyes, there is no fighting spirit left in her. He says it's pitiful and that he's disappointed, but suddenly Amaron sees something happening. It is King Sadala, who has just given Vegeta the last of his energy, while the Prince of Saiyans, mourning his recently deceased disciple, sheds tears from his eyes. Amaron seems to like this, getting ready to continue fighting with a smile on his face. After giving his energy to Vegeta, King Sadala faints while the other Saiyan gets up. Vegeta closes his hands, starting to concentrate his strength. He raises his arms as his face takes on a serious, highly determined expression. A divine glow shines through his hair as he begins to emit a battle cry. The aura of Ki radiates around him, causing a spectacle of light and electricity to begin. And finally, Vegeta's Ki explodes, manifesting all the remaining power of the proudest Saiyan warrior. Someone touches the warrior prince on the shoulder. That someone is Goku, who, present in Vegeta's thoughts, seems to give him strength in some way. Vegeta begins to remember what he told the Sadala Saiyans when he got there, promising that they would be able to take care of themselves. He seems sorry for making that promise and apologizes. Now, with the tears disappearing from his eyes and giving his face an expression of pure bloodlust, Vegeta tells Amaron that he has literally already died and been in hell. Amaron has obviously never been through this, but he intends to give the enemy a taste of it. The smile on Amaron's face disappears as they look at each other seriously. Fennel, now next to Caulifla, comments on the mental strength exerted by Vegeta. Caulifla says that it seems that, for Vegeta, saving Goku is more than just a mission. Vegeta and Amaron go into battle, both leaving the ground with great power and marching towards each other through the sky. They clash with Amaron punching Vegeta hard enough to make him vomit blood. Vegeta's response is immediate, with a kick that also draws blood from his opponent's mouth. Someone, while seeing Vegeta's determination, says that for him, this is all about honoring his destiny. While Vegeta concentrates more power to continue fighting, Fennel realizes that this is about Goku. Broly, with the deceased Kaba in his arms, confirms her suspicions. He says Vegeta may seem cold, but his desire to save Goku is real. Seeing Kaba dead in Broly's arms stirs up Caulifla's tears, which are once again shed for him. Broly says Goku helped him a lot. It seems that Vegeta has also been indebted to Goku for years, although he doesn't know why. After accumulating a high amount of energy in his two hands, Vegeta brings them together, releasing a powerful current of power that goes towards Amaron and completely swallows him, causing great destruction on the ground. This attack wasn't enough to kill Amaron, but it was more than enough to make him very angry. Amaron says that Vegeta already has a punctured shoulder, multiple fractures, and his ki is almost completely depleted. This resistance is getting theatrical, according to him. How does Vegeta keep getting up? Returning to his base form due to energy depletion, Vegeta is about to ask Amaron a question as well, but the enemy collapses before he can finish, starting to stagger until he falls to his knees and then lies down. To his own shock, only now he realizes a fatigue he hadn't noticed before. Vegeta says it was about time this happened, since from the beginning, Amaron was using a lot of power. Using the destruction technique on such high scales requires a lot of energy. No technique is perfect. Amaron admits that no one other than Lord Drommel forced him to get to this point, but Amaron promises that he will remember this planet and its fighters, especially him, Vegeta from Universe 7. Vegeta tells Amaron not to waste his last strength and get out of there at once. He even teases, saying that something tells him that Amaron's minions are waiting for him. This greatly irritates Amaron, who launches a hasty attack that Vegeta easily dodges and in the next instant rushes at him in an almost instantaneous movement, hitting the villain squarely with a powerful and blunt knee to the stomach. The power of Vegeta's blow throws Amaron far away, causing him to recoil and groan in pain. To Amaron's concern, Vegeta approaches. He says that since Amaron arrived, he has done nothing but sell himself as the next god of destruction of Universe 14. He doesn't realize that he is nothing more than a spare wheel for the deities. He is not an immortal being. Amaron retorts, saying that Lord Drommel set his sights on him. He is the only being who rubs shoulder with the divine. He was the one who was chosen by the highest authorities and received the blessing of the gods. In a rage, Amaron begins to release a large amount of power, alarming Vegeta, who is impressed by the fact that he can still use so much power. Amaron says he refuses to lose to who he used to be. Hearing this doesn't please Vegeta, who also begins to release his power, ready for more. He says that Amaron, who sits above all, does not know what made mortals fight today. Amaron shouts furiously for Vegeta, who forbids him from saying his name. Amaron concentrates strength in his legs and flies away at high power, quickly reaching space, pointing his hand at the planet, preparing a Hakai. Vegeta prepares to defend the planet, using the last of his energy to transform. Amaron says that when he is finished with Vegeta, he will free his allies and bring about their end. It's only a matter of time. Vegeta, however, doesn't care about this threat, keeping a serious and focused look at his opponent. And then, in the blink of an eye, he arrives next to Amaron, shocking the villain with his speed. He asks if Amaron thinks he will let him do whatever he wants. The enemy's eyes widen as an attack approaches. The attack is a very powerful punch from Vegeta, which launches Amaron from the stratosphere of planet Sadala towards what appears to be the moon, leaving a gigantic crater on the satellite. In the center of this great crater, the invader of Sadala lies in agony, in lamentation, shouting that this is impossible. Shouting, Vegeta tells him to get out of there at once. He tells Amaron to find his superior and send a message given by Vegeta from Universe 7. While Amaron gets angry at receiving this kind of order, Vegeta says that whether it's today or tomorrow, they will be ready. They have declared war, so they must keep in mind that they will lose. Still suffering the last blow, Amaron falls, ejecting blood. Vegeta tells Amaron that he will never forget or forgive what he did to Sadala and Kaba. He tells Amaron to train as much as he wants. This humiliation will haunt him for the rest of his life. He tells Amaron to pray that he never crosses his path again. Amaron overestimated his own nature. He will always be a mere mortal. Amaron, seeing no more chances of victory there, recognizes that he has no choice and decides to leave this miserable planet. However, he warns Vegeta that in a short time the Saiyans will cease to exist in the multiverse, and suggests that he enjoy his last days of peace. Vegeta ignores this threat and points his hand at Amaron, who notices that he has already had all his energy drained and any simple attack could be enough to doom him. Vegeta continues to ignore it, starting to recite the name of his technique, which will be the Big Bang Attack. Seeing the determination in the Saiyan's eyes, Amaron fears. But at that moment, Amaron has a staff in his hands, which brings the transport cube to him. The invader immediately leaves that place, leaving a trail of light that highlights his escape. With the threat gone, Vegeta closes the hand he would use to attack, and then his eyes, along with a sigh of relief. He says relieved to himself that the enemy is already gone. Strangely, Vegeta remains worried, and he gets angry with himself because of it, wondering why this damned feeling persists, the feeling that they are in even more danger. In Universe Zero, an extremely scary and worrying thing has just happened. The block of ice in which the Grand Priest imprisoned the Mother of Angels and her revolutionaries has just shown serious cracks, and Kansei is already beginning to show some expression. Finally, the enemy's prison time is coming to an end. What will happen from now on? Have our warriors prepared enough for the war to come? Find out in the next chapters of Dragon Ball Kakumei. And with the end of this chapter, we have a note from the creators of Dragon Ball Kakumei, finally announcing the end of this training arc and the beginning of the Great War arc, which should begin in the next chapter. They also intend to take a 2-month vacation from the production of Dragon Ball Kakumei. Since chapter 29 is being published at the end of month 6, there will be no chapters published in months 7 and 8. According to them, the next chapter will be released in month 9. This chapter will be a tribute to Akira Toriyama, the beloved author of Dragon Ball who passed away this year. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this latest chapter of Dragon Ball Kakumei. If you support this story here on the channel, comment #Dragon Ball Kakumei or anything else related to this story. Also comment what you thought of this chapter. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to always be notified when more Dragon Ball Kakumei videos are published here. And also share this video with a friend who is a Dragon Ball fan. Until the next time, goodbye!